As we saw last week, the first part of our textbook definition says that technical communication is the exchange of information. So the first question we want to consider, since we reviewed the video, is was this video intended to exchange information? And if so, who was delivering that information? My answer is that yes, this was definitely the exchange of information, and it is the airline who is trying to inform passengers about important things to know about flying, taking their airline and taking their flight. The second part of the definition says that it is a communication that helps people interact with technology. Now, don't forget, we discussed last week the definition of technology has to do with specific knowledge about a subject. So some of the things that were covered in this video were like there was information about how to properly put on a seat belt. Now, they used humor to deliver that, but it was important information and it did get conveyed. They also talked about where to find, how to put on, and how to operate a life vest, or what to do when the masks drop down from overhead, all of that kind of information. They also covered information about how the airline personnel communicate with passengers, and that includes signs, audible signals like that little ding that you hear, flashing lights sometimes, audible announcements, and then sometimes just them communicating directly with passengers. So all of this was covered. And then the final part of the definition states that technical communication helps solve complex problems. Now, I know that air travel is so common in our world that you might say, well, that's just not a complex problem anymore. But I would argue that transporting large numbers of people safely and efficiently across great distances and doing it on a timetable is a very complex problem. So while technical communication rarely has a place for humor in it, this seems to be an exception. It's interesting to note that there's now kind of a genre for entertaining airline videos, and they are designed to communicate important and serious information, but they do it in a way that is entertaining for the audience.